Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host with the most renaissance man who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back in the yard of streams for Pitts and Sara's wrestling show where we take no nights off. Payback predictions, and you can't have Pitts and Sara's wrestling show, especially a predictions discussion, without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's poppin', girl?
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
What's poppin'? How we doing today?
Fine. I'm tired.
Fantastic.
No, I'm tired. I'm
Feel that.
tired, man.
Yeah, I feel that. Driving home from work was not fun. So I get there, and just content everywhere. I mean, I'm in 1 yard of streams talking about the Patriots and how excited I am for that season. You're in a yard of streams talking about the Patriots. You did a live reaction the other day, and then we hop into this yard of streams to talk about the glorious and fantastic world, an amazing world of professional wrestling, World Wrestling Entertainment Edition. It's a great time, Sara. It's a great time to be a fan. All right. I'm going to start out this kind of connecting with Payback in a way because Judgment Day. But NXT even delivered. Like, NXT is an enjoyable show to watch now.
Yeah, I haven't been watching it because I'm just, every night I'm doing something. So it's like I don't even get to watch SmackDown live sometimes. So
Yeah.
But I've been seeing a lot of people talking about NXT and how it's been really good. So it seems like they're on fire right now.
The stories make you care. They really get you invested into the wrestlers. I mean, I have become obsessed with the Creed brothers, and I would pretty much say that it has been due to this little feud they've had with Schism.
Mm-hmm.
And Shawn Michaels is just delivering on all cylinders. They're doing the little Walmart version of the G1 Classic with the Heritage Cup. They're doing like a round robin where you fight like four. There's two sides of a bracket, 4 and 4, round robin, and then the winners of each face off, and then the winner faces Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup at No Mercy. I think it's great because we're getting matches like we're gonna get Butch versus Tyler Bate or Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a great time. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan, especially with Payback on Saturday, which I low key forgot that it was this Saturday. I thought it was next week. Thank God we didn't, because it's. I want your thoughts on this first. Is that what's your overall gut reaction, excitement level for this show?
I feel like it's probably going to be better than what the buildup has been, because I think the matchups are like there's only 6 matches right now, but I do think that the tag match with Judgment Day, KO, and Sammy going to be fire. Shinsuke versus Rollins, fire. I'm looking forward to the Trish versus Becky Steel cage match. I think that's going to be really good. LA Knight versus The Miz, going to be fire. So it's like, I don't know. I think that maybe the build up to some of it hasn't been that great. But I think that the matches are going to deliver. So like, I'm not excited. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not as excited about it as like, I don't know, maybe SummerSlam or something, but I still think like there's a majority of the matches I'm like, okay, I'm excited. Like I want to see what happens. I want to see how this goes and what this means and whatnot,
No, I agree. I'm excited for the fact that we're getting a set number of matches. I feel like in years past, there could be like 8 matches on the card, 10 matches, whatever, and it just feels watered down. Where you have these 6 matches, it gives you time to each to tell their story, put each other over, however they're trying to do so, and it I would say keeps you more invested. Because if there's so many matches, you're going to look away and you're going to just not really tune into it. Where there is 6 matches, that it's definitive. I like it a whole lot more
Yeah.
than
Well, I
how they've
saw
done it
Triple H
before,
wants to not overbook pay-per-views.
and they
So,
should.
yeah. Yeah, I
I
agree.
like that. So let's break it down,
Uh,
Sarah. Let's start with the first match.
so we have Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. This is one of the ones I'm just not excited about.
Yeah, starting out hot because I'm also not really into this match either. I mean, I'll be into it because it's Rey Mysterio, but like Oz there is doing nothing for me right now. I'm
I
sorry,
know.
he's doing nothing for me.
Yeah. Well, and I I understand why they have to have this match, but I do think that Rey Mysterio needs to win, and then Theory needs to either be off TV for a while, as we've been saying forever, or they need to physically remove him from the U.S. title picture, because this is like, I mean, I can't imagine he cares that much anymore. Like, how can you really be passionate about winning the U.S. title at this point? Like, like I
Yeah,
just, yeah, I think it's going to be a good match because of who's in it, but I just, I don't care about it
I
at
don't.
all.
I don't care about this because if, let's say they do swerve us and Austin Theory wins again,
Ugh.
why? Like, what are we doing?
I don't think
There's
that's
no
going to
reason.
happen though.
I am 99.9% sure that's not going to happen, but that 0.01% always sneaks up on you.
Well, I think the most unlikely situation is, Santos getting mad about Ray winning, but I just don't know that we are at a point where the LWO is going to turn heel. So,
So I got a little thought that popped in my head. That's why I did the whole like that, because brain blasts are really heavy. What if Austin Theory attacks Ray pre-match, gets him injured,
and then Santos has to step in.
and Santos becomes the champion?
I mean, I get why you would say it, but I also feel like that just makes it too unsettled. Because then Ray's gonna be like, I never really lost it, and then it's like Theory's still gonna be like, I want a rematch. I
But he
just feel
doesn't.
like,
He lost.
but I don't know. I get why you would say it, but I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't want to see it prolonged.
yeah. It's just for conversation purposes more. Just
Yeah,
I thought of it, and I don't know. I could see WWE doing some weird shit like that, or at least trying to
yeah.
injure him or a pre-match attack or something, and then
Mm.
it turns into a brawl. Just little shit like that to get you invested into this match. Because if these two just walk out to the ring and they're with their entrance and no form of chaos, I just
I feel like that's how it has to end, though. I feel like this has to be the end of Theory versus Ray, Theory versus Santos, Theory for the or the US title. I feel like it has to just be clean. It just has to end, because if anything crazy happens, then there's like a reason for him to challenge for the title again. So I feel like it just has to be like, okay, you lost cleanly. Nobody interfered.
move
Nothing bad
on,
happened. Yeah,
get over it.
that's what I mean. I feel like that's how it has to be, because otherwise there's just an excuse. Well,
Yeah.
let's move on to a match that we actually care about.
Yes, I care about this a whole
And
hell lot.
it's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Damian Priest and Finn Balor of the Judgment Day for the undisputed tag team
Undisputed.
championships. So what do you
Yeah,
think?
I don't want to say it because I hate doing this to my boy KO,
Oh,
but the Judgment Day need to win.
I know.
like like
Oh my
like
god.
air to breathe. Like a
Dude,
fish needs water, Sarah. The
like
Judgment Day
me.
needs to
I
walk.
need water. I need the air.
You need
Please give me
air.
Judgment Day with the gold or the
Oh my
silver.
god, I need
Technically,
it
they're silver.
so bad.
I know.
And I love this duo. Could
Well,
not have asked for a better duo that aren't a real tag team on Raw. But you gotta put gold on Judgment Day to
mm-hmm.
launch them. And
Silver.
this is the tomato potato. It is this you this is how you send them to the moon, and not putting them in the same category as the bloodline, but put them in bloodline territory where they are the faction that is running the company.
It's exactly what I wanted them to do with Imperium. I
Yeah.
wanted Imperium to have the tag team titles and the IC title.
But you're gonna
So,
get tag team and women's and senior money in the bank. And then
women's.
there's Dom.
What? Women's tag titles? What?
Women's title. You want it with Imperium, but you're gonna get it with Judgment Day.
Oh, well, I just don't know what the women. I was caught off guard by the
Rhea.
women's thing. Well, she's not a tag team.
She's a women's champion.
Okay, well, you just misspoke, so I got confused.
That was really fast. My
Yeah, I was
brain
very
works
confused.
very,
I
very
was
fast.
I was confused. Yeah, so I think that Kevin and Sammy have been great. They were obviously the right people to win at WrestleMania. It was such a huge moment. Obviously, it's the reason why they main evented. But I think, yeah, at this point, they've run their course. So I think that I mean, and this doesn't keep them out of the tag division. Obviously, if Judgment Day win, then they're just going to keep battling them. So it's like, okay. But I feel like if you're not you didn't take the opportunity to put the title on Finn when you had the opportunity. He was the hottest thing ever. You should have put it on him when you had the chance. And if you're not going to do that, because I told you they took Finn out of the title picture, and I told you they will not make him champion because I was right. If they're going to not do that, then they need to make him tag champ.
Yeah.
Like, that is almost more of an interesting dynamic between him and Damian having to be tag team champs together, as opposed to Damian being senior money in the bank and then Finn being world heavyweight champion. I feel like this is more interesting because of their drama that they've had with each other. This forces them to have to work together. And I feel like there's just so many more possibilities of them winning the titles than keeping the titles on Sammy and Kevin.
So you're saying that Finn's would you say that Finn's lust is really for the championship, or did he just really want to beat Seth Rollins?
I think it was I don't think it was one over the other necessarily. I think it was both because of their history of their match. It wasn't like, Finn won, but then because of what Seth did that injured him, he essentially didn't win the match. Seth won the match. He
Yeah.
then took the title. So it was like, I don't know that it was one that was more important to Finn than the other. I think it was just a combination. Like, he wanted
Okay.
to ruin Seth, and taking the title away from him was like a
I
bigger
see.
deal. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Okay. Yeah,
So
because that
yeah.
factors.
Yeah, so I think it has to be Judgment Day. It has to. But I'm worried that it's wishful thinking.
So how much of an involvement does JD McDonough have?
I feel like he has to be involved, right? Like, I feel like he has to somewhat win over Damian. I feel like that's yeah, and I think it didn't work on Monday, but it wasn't a match that meant anything, So I think that maybe if JD helps in some capacity, whether it's just a distraction or he does get his hands on, Sammy or Kevin without the referee noticing, I think that it has to lead to Judgment Day winning. And then Damian might view him differently because it was like, okay, you helped me win a match again, but at least this time I walk away with the titles. You know what I mean? Like that.
Mhm.
obviously holds a lot more weight than just getting a random singles win over Sammy. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
it wouldn't have mattered if he lost it on Raw. So, but I feel like we have to see JD and JD. You know, we have to see JD and the JD.
It's written in the stars. It's
Yeah,
obvious. Like it's come on. It's plain sight. It's right
yeah.
there.
And then he'd be the only one without the gold. But that's okay. He's the baby member.
But you need one without the gold.
Well, and you know Dominic's not gonna have it for like ever.
No.
But yeah.
What if Dominic
So
becomes the longest reigning
God.
NXT North American champion?
That would piss people off so bad because they were already so pissed that he took the belt off Wesley. And I was like, calm down, guys, calm down.
I kind of want it though. Dom is the most interesting person in Judgment Day right now.
Yeah. So speaking of Judgment Day.
Oh, okay, great.
We got Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez for the Women's World Championship. I hate how they call it that. I feel like it should be the World Women's Championship or something because it's World Heavyweight. It's not like Heavyweight World Championship. I feel like it should be the World Women's Championship.
No, it's describing
World Women's. I don't know. Whatever.
In the world of women, they are the champion.
I don't know.
You gotta check that out live. That was great.
Anyway, I think it has to be Rhea.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
I understand the other side of the argument of like, okay, it should be Raquel, but like Rhea hasn't had that great of a reign, not because Rhea can't do it. It's because of how the draft went and how they've booked her. So I don't think that like now that she has a viable opponent in Raquel Rodriguez, that should be their opportunity to take the title off Rhea. I feel like that would be messed up.
It would be. No, it would be very messed up. I would like to see Raquel get the gold, to finally have it after everything she's overcome, all that. But Rhea needs some strong wins. She had her first strong win against Charlotte to win it. Since then, it's been kind of cakewalks. They've been real cakewalks. So
yeah,
I don't know. I would like it for the feel good moment. It would be nice to see Raquel win it, but you gotta have Rhea go over strong here. But I think the question is how long. Oh, you go.
I would hate for her to lose and then Damian and Finn to win. You know, I feel like that would be such a weird dynamic for the Judgment Day. I want to see all of them have gold. You know, I don't want to see like, oh, what do we do now? Because we did what Rhea said we had to do. We won the tag titles, but she lost. Like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that yet.
But then Rhea said, if Judgment Day doesn't all walk out with gold, there's going to be some changes around here. And the dramatic irony,
would be her
not walking out with gold. She said it, and then they just booed her out. I know that's not going to happen.
I know.
Let's have fun with our food here.
Her losing though, I think makes her not look very strong.
Oh, it's terrible. You can't do it in a no.
And we're just and nothing against Raquel, but I don't think she's over enough to be dethroning Rhea at this point. Like, I think she has the capabilities. I just don't think this is her time. I think that if she's going to take the title off Rhea, it's not at Payback. It's going to be at the next one or a couple months away from now. I don't think it's going to be on Saturday. I don't think it should be for Rhea's sake or Raquel's sake. Because I think if you gave it to Raquel right now, it would be a flop reign because it's like she's another one that's difficult to book because of the type of competitor that she is. So you would be throwing her the same girls that Rhea was thrown to, and it's gonna be exactly the same. Like, oh, she's taking on Candice LeRae. Okay, like Candice is a great opponent, but not for a giant woman like Rhea or Raquel. Like, it's just not
like a twig.
Yeah. So I'm like, I feel like it's not the time right now. I think it has to be Rhea.
We're in Rhea Ripley's story, not Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, so, we're not there yet. I think that Raquel has some more to do because also she has been gone. she's been injured. So it's like she's seeking
Injured. She's been
revenge.
kayfabe injured. She's been
Yeah,
everything.
she's seeking revenge. Obviously, she's seeking payback because Rhea is the one that allegedly hurt her. But like, she's not been around consistently. She's just been doing these random, like, oh, I'm gonna come and attack Rhea. But it's like that's not doing a whole lot to get people really behind you because people still cheer Rhea. Like, people hate the Judgment Day, but they love them some mommy. So it's like I don't know that it would go over that well if Raquel got the title, but
I agree. I do not think it would go over well. You need to keep Judgment Day strong
yeah.
as much as possible. Dude, how much was he Dom get involved in this match? Does Dom help Rhea win?
It's like I kind of don't want him to because again, it kind of just goes against the strength of Rhea. Like if she needs to rely on Dominic getting involved, then it's like, okay, then what are we saying about Rhea? The only reason I would be okay with it in this instance is because then it leaves the door open for them to have a rematch. You know, because then Raquel can be like, see, like, I couldn't even get a fair fight with her. She had to have Dominic get involved, blah, 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 blah. And then that's a whole storyline of like, see, you're weak, Rhea. You couldn't handle me, blah, blah, you know.
Yeah,
Like, I think that's the only way that they could use it to spin it
I'd
because
agree.
yeah, otherwise it's again, it's not necessarily the right time to be relying on Dominic's help, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm just having a couple thoughts hit my head at once. Um, so far, so we both got Rhea.
Yeah.
Cool. And then we got
So,
the Grayson Waller effect. Oh, did
yes.
I just
I was just
swiped
going to
that?
do it. I was like so confused. Yes. So then we have the Grayson Waller effect with Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes wasn't on Raw, at least not on TV. He did crossroads Dominic during a commercial break. But we didn't see him on Raw. He is not in a match on Saturday, and everybody assumes, just like we've been saying, this will be the setup for Cody's next feud. At least we assume. But who is that going to be? Is the question. And I honestly have no idea.
Shelton Benjamin.
No, okay, let's be real.
I'm just getting the juices going. You need to
Okay,
pull on the lawnmower a couple times
no,
before you get it to
no,
start
Shelton
working.
Benjamin, stop. That's not
Yeah,
a
that's the
real.
first
That's not
pull.
a real answer.
Yeah, and the first one's on a real pull. I don't know what you want.
Ay, ay, ay.
I'm trying to think of some like good ones because I don't want Dominic. I just
No, and there's people that are like, it's gonna be Randy. And I was like, okay, first of all, Randy is allegedly not cleared. Second of all, no one wants to see Cody versus Randy right now.
no.
And it doesn't make sense for that to happen at Payback. What would he be getting payback from Cody? You know what I mean? Like they didn't even interact. Like
At all.
before Randy got injured, other than when we saw when Cody first returned, they had that like cute little moment where they hugged each other. Otherwise, it makes no sense story wise. I mean, at this point, it doesn't really feel like there's a whole lot of choices that would make sense because Cody's story since he returned at the Royal Rumble has been very direct. Like the first feud, obviously, it was all about Roman. So that was his focus from the Rumble to Mania, basically. And then after that, it was Brock Lesnar up until SummerSlam. So there hasn't really been, like other than the random match with Dominic, there hasn't been any other like, oh, wait, he had this weird moment with that guy, or like, oh,
Yeah.
wait, that's a backstory. No, there's not anything. So I really don't know.
I'm looking at the Raw roster right now at anyone who realistically it could be. No one pops in my head. Like maybe Braun. No, Braun Breaker just because why not?
Well, yeah, and it seems like they're calling him up. But
Yeah,
like
they're
it
calling him up, and you could do a legacy thing. I mean,
I
not
guess.
Finn, obviously. Not Drew. He's still with what's his face, Riddle.
Yeah.
Nope. JD McDonough's in the Judgment Day.
Richard
Maybe
says
John. Maybe it would be
who? Who?
JD McDonough.
I
I
don't know
could
about
see a
that.
world where they could spin that because I'm thinking big picture that we're gonna get 5-on-5 Judgment Day, Ring of Honor squad, and Cody with like two friends. Survivor Series War Games. That's what this is all building to. So if that's the case, then I see what they're going for. But yeah, no, I other than that,
Richard says Bobby, Sheamus, or AJ, so it would be like a cross-brand feud.
AJ Styles versus
See,
Cody
I don't
Rhodes
love
would be
that though, like I said the
fucking
other day, because then if that's the case, why is he not going after Roman?
Yeah, you did say that. No, you
Because then
you did.
I think that would be the problem with there being a cross-brand feud for Cody, because then there's no reason for him to just not show up on SmackDown and be like, okay, I want my rematch. Like
Yeah, there's no.
there would be no reason. So I think it has to be on Raw. But yeah, I feel like they're in a weird situation right now, because it's like, who is it going to be? And you hope it's good, because it's like you really had all of this momentum behind Cody, and then you just kind of are like, yeah, we don't know now. You know?
No, I agree. I'm just there's no one. That's everybody. I don't
Yeah,
know. I really don't know.
I don't
Um,
either.
but what I think it's gonna be entertaining though. Absolutely. I mean, I think he's gonna really get under his skin. I'm excited for that. He's so good at getting under your
Yeah.
skin.
Richard says, I think Cody calls out Roman at Payback, but then someone shows up to say, no, it's their turn. I mean, maybe, but I still don't know how it makes sense for him to call out Roman this many months later.
Oh, well, because he just slayed the beast. He slayed Brock Lesnar. So realistically, after you would slay a beast, you're like, I'm ready for the champ. I'm ready for the big time. And then someone else steps in your way, and then they become the roadblock. And then
Well, we assume that's what it's going to be anyway, because he wants to finish the story. It's just more about who is that roadblock going to be. And we're undecided.
I got a question. How important? When do you think this is going to take place? What part of the card?
I kind of like guessed it when I put the banners together.
Oh, you did. Okay, so the banners together are, I think Ray and never mind.
Yeah, Ray and Theory are opening the show because no one cares. Or it's going to be like the tag title match or something. I feel like.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
I mean, this is just a tentative guess, but
I had a crazy guess. That's why.
Why?
I had a crazy thought that the world heavyweight would be before this, and he says I'm ready for the title, and Shinsuke walks out. But that doesn't make sense.
You
One
have way
and
too
two.
much wishful thinking, fantasy booking.
I'm just a fantastic booker. Really.
Richard does have a good point. I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if Becky and Trish open. I really wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either.
But at the same time, I feel like that's so fucking lame. Like, you took their match off of SmackDown and then you're gonna have them open the show. Yeah.
But opening the show has became just as important now.
I don't agree. You kind of forget about it. You start to forget about it as the show goes on. Hello. Like, we've sat here and talked about it. And we were like, oh, wait, we had to go back and be like, okay, what was the first match? Because you already forget. Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's kind of like when Seth, or what was it? Was it at Mania?
Yeah,
or
Miz, Seth, Finn. That was a fantastic triple threat to open the show.
No, I don't remember which one I was talking about, but it was like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it should be later in the show. I feel like they should kind of get their redemption for being taken off of SummerSlam, but also treat it like it is a big match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we have LA Knight versus The Miz. And this one I'm a little stuck on too, honestly.
Interesting.
Because
elaborate.
I mean, I want LA Knight to win. and I feel like it makes the most sense for LA Knight to win, but I don't believe that that's necessarily how WWE would see things, because I can see the Miz getting help to beat LA Knight. I can see them trying to prolong this feud to be further than Payback. So then that makes sense for them to have the Miz win. But because it is a cross show feud, they might want to end it. And so it's like, okay, no, LA Knight wins, you know. But I feel like it's also kind of lame to just end it there. And then it's like, okay, we're done. Like, there's no more Miz and LA Knight. LA Knight's moving on, and the Miz is going to go back to being off TV for a month, you know? Like, that just feels kind of lame. So it's like my gut says LA Knight, but it's still kind of like I'm almost like 80-20. Like, there's still a 20% chance that the Miz might actually do something to get the win.
The only way I see the Miz winning would be an interference by somebody. But then again, so I mean, Richard mentioned here in the comments, his prediction being LA Knight wins, but should be a one and done. And I agree, because what else is there to tell between these two? Like
I
what
think
other
I
what
think
we
it's
need to?
more about, for me, of like, okay, what does LA Knight do next, you know?
Oh
So
yeah,
that's where I'm just like, okay. But I agree. I mean, this was a random feud to begin with. So if it does randomly end, then, you know, it's not typically what I like, obviously. But I think it makes sense in this situation, because it was just a spur of the moment, or we're supposed to believe it was like a spur of the moment type of feud anyway. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, I think I'm just more curious about like, what does LA Knight do after this, because this is supposed to be like a big win for him if he wins. Because it is the Miz, who's a 2-time Grand Slam champion, so it is like a notch on his belt, you know.
oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm more curious about what he does afterwards. So, because the US title ain't looking that great. I at this point I don't even want him to have the US title. Um
Yeah, that's a good question. What if that's his next feud?
I mean,
The theory beats Ray. No, I don't
no,
want that.
stop it.
I don't
Stop.
want that. I don't want
Yeah.
that.
But
I
that's
just
the
said
thing,
that.
is like,
Ew.
I
Ew.
I feel like the US title is just like icky right now. Like, that's my word, right? It's just ick. Like, ugh.
It
Because
gives
it's
you
like,
the ick.
yeah, because like I just think it's so devalued at this point, and it's not anyone's fault necessarily. It's not, I'm not going to say, "Oh, it's because Austin Theory was champion." No, he's talented. So it's not like, "Oh, he sucks." You know, it's not like they gave it to, you know, James Ellsworth or something and you're like, "What the fuck?" You know? Like, it's not
Yeah.
like it devalued in that way, but they haven't done anything so far with Rey Mysterio. I mean, I know it's been not even a month since he's won the title, but they haven't done anything to elevate it or to make it feel anywhere close to the Intercontinental title. And I don't know why it would even be on LA Knight's radar. Like, why would he want that? Because I don't even know if LA Knight could elevate it at this point, because it's like they haven't been good at booking Austin Theory. They hadn't been good with what they're doing so far with Rey Mysterio. Even before that, when it was bouncing between Theory, Seth, and Bobby Lashley, like, it's not been interesting. So I don't know that putting it on LA Knight is going to make it more interesting. Like, I just, again, I feel like we've talked about it when the Yeah movement was on, that he feels above it at this point. Like,
He
I it
does.
yeah.
It's just,
So
if he feels above it, it's
he needs to be on Raw. That's the problem.
that. But I disagree that he needs to be on Raw.
But if he
He is
won't
the
go
face
after
of
the US
SmackDown.
title, he can't go after the undisputed title. So it leaves him with literally nothing. So at least if he was on Raw, it was like, okay, maybe he could go for the IC title. Like, at least that opens that door, or the world heavyweight, you know? Like, but at this point, he's like, okay, LA Knight's just like stuck on SmackDown doing nothing. That's just how it
Getting
feels,
his
you know?
pops,
Yeah.
talking to the peeps. I don't know.
I mean,
I love him on SmackDown. You need him on SmackDown. He was the perfect. I'm so happy. I just I don't know what's next.
I don't
I'm
know.
trying to think of feuds that would like keep him going, and you know, I just don't. I don't have any options because who
Well,
else
because
are like
even
he's not gonna feud with AJ Styles, Kane
well, it,
Cross,
and the
maybe.
thing is like they're really like teetering the line between booking him as a heel and booking him as a baby face. So it's like it really just depends, I guess, because against the Miz is a bad guy, okay? So that's fine. But if we're going to say, like if he went for the US title, they're not going to have him go against Rey Mysterio because then like that's a little problematic because he's not hated enough to get booed against Rey Mysterio. But then you
Exactly.
don't want two really over guys going against each other when those guys are LA Knight and Rey Mysterio, like so. But then you don't want to put the title back on Austin Theory because then again, then you're playing hot potato with the US title. So like that's not a good look either. So I don't know. I feel like the US title should be his next move, but again, I don't know.
I don't know either. I really don't know, and that's why this match really it intrigues me because
Yeah.
like because I could see this match stealing the show, low key, like this being the match of the night, and then what do you
Yeah,
do
and
from
I
there?
and I think the thing about that is too is like what I've said before where these are one guy who's obviously solidified is probably going to be a Hall of Famer in the Miz. And then you have LA Knight who wants to take advantage of the push that he's getting right now and how over he is. So that gives him more motivation to put on one hell of a match. And so I think the combination with that, plus the Miz is not on TV weekly. So I feel like he still tries to do like some of his best work like every time he's in the ring because it's like okay, well I have more of a part-time schedule now, but I don't want people to forget like how good I actually am. So
Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised if they actually steal the show either. Like I I think it's a tough card to try and steal the show because of some of the
It is.
matches, but yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. This is another one where I don't have an answer, I guess.
DJ Zombie G. LA Knight do not need to be on Raw. SmackDown really need a strong superstar presence. LA Knight only good thing going for SmackDown. In my opinion, I don't
Well,
think it's the only good thing going on SmackDown, but
I agree that he needs to be on SmackDown, and it was something that I had said even before. Like, I wanted him on Raw. We had him going to Raw. Both of us had him going to Raw
I
because we
did
felt
have
like
him on
that's what
Raw.
what was needed. But now, given how each show is going, I understand why he's needed on SmackDown. The reason I say that he needs to be on Raw is just because of how many people he could feud with that are on Raw. And because of the opportunities he would have as for championships in the Intercontinental in the World Heavyweight. That's why I say that he should be on Raw. But obviously that can be proven wrong if they do the right thing. If he's involved in the US title picture, then that can change my mind. I just think that they have to figure out something to book him well because he's not going to have the opportunity to go after Roman. So you can't just have him stagnant on the roster, getting the pops every week, but that he's literally doing nothing. Like, you don't have a guy that is that naturally and organically over and then you just have him on every week and that's it. Like there's no direction for him to continue the rising. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree. I don't like this though. It's dude, you
It says
walk
is the
around.
only thing keeping him watching SmackDown is what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying. Keep it. It's not that bad, dude. SmackDown's
Oh,
getting so good.
well,
SmackDown's so good.
I do say that there is a big hole on SmackDown in the shape of Pretty Deadly.
Yeah, their injury did that was rough. Terrible
So
timing.
such
Terrible
bad
timing.
timing, dude. Like, I was just thinking about them like yesterday.
Brutal.
So it makes me so sad because I'm like, oh my god, I just miss them. They're
I
so
miss them so
entertaining.
much.
You
Do
know.
you, right turn before we get into the last two. Do we see any sort of new video or update or whatever you want to call it to push the story forward for the bloodline? Like, do we see the bloodline mentioned at all with something new
Well,
during Payback?
well, well, Jimmy's gonna be on SmackDown.
I know that.
So,
Yeah, I
well,
mean,
because
yeah,
they had to push it, obviously. So I think
obviously, yeah.
something's gonna happen probably, but it all depends on what happens on SmackDown. I feel like it's hard to predict what's gonna happen at Payback with the Bloodline when we don't know what's gonna happen on SmackDown yet. You know, because they obviously because of the tributes and stuff that they had on SmackDown, they had to push Jimmy's appearance back. But yeah, I think depending on how that goes, that will give us like an indication of what will happen. I think if anything, we're gonna see Paul. I feel like we have to
Yeah, it's
because
Paul
like
Heyman.
you almost forget about the bloodline at this point because
It's the
it's
Paul
like
Heyman story. It's the
it's
Paul
just
Heyman
like
chapter.
yeah, that's what if he's the cog that keeps it going at this point, you know, because it's like Roman's off doing whatever he wants on vacation, and then now Jay is out of WWE, and then Solo goes where Roman goes, and Jimmy's like, oh yeah, I'll be on SmackDown, but it's like you didn't leave, so why are you like, oh yeah, I need to announce that I'm going to be there? Like you should be there. You're a SmackDown superstar. You should be there. So yeah, I think SmackDown will be the indicator if we're going to get anything. But I think I don't know, maybe worst case scenario, we see at least some sort of like backstage segment or talking segment with Paul Heyman. I think that's probably worst case scenario.
The Penguin. He's literally the
Yeah.
Penguin. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Um
I would like that. The bloodline story. I say it, I think, every episode.
yeah.
Best story in wrestling, hands down. Anytime Paul Heyman comes across my screen, my eyes are locked in because that man is just a walking entertainment. This is such good shit. Every time,
Mhm.
without fail.
Mhm.
So, all
Yeah.
right, I just need to get that out because this is a bloodline list show, but
Yeah.
something in my gut's telling me that it won't be.
Yeah. So then we have Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus in a steel cage match. So we're finally getting the steel cage match that was supposed to happen at SummerSlam or well something, and then it was supposed to happen a week after SummerSlam. Then it didn't. Then it was supposed to happen there, and then blah, blah, blah. So it's supposed to finally happen now. And when I was looking at some other people's predictions, they have Trish winning, which I hate because I'm like, then that means this isn't over. Becky has to win for this to be over. And Becky and Trish have both spoken recently talking about that they feel like this has gone on too long. And Trish has said that she wants to like move on. Like Trish actually is not planning, it seems, from what I read, on leaving when this is done. She's planning on continuing and like doing other stuff with other
Good.
people. So I'm like, okay, so then yeah, Becky needs to win. Like we need Becky to end this so then Trish can be like, okay, I'm gonna go with some over here and do something with somebody else, you know? I feel like that makes the most sense in my opinion.
How brutal do you think this match will be? Do you think it'll be like very physical or more of a wrestling match in a cage?
I would like my gut says it's going to be a physical match. I think it's going to be a brutal match, like a cage match, you know? And I think part of that is because one, they had their match scrapped from SummerSlam. So they want to be like, this is why you should have had us on SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And two, this is Trish's first steel cage match and possibly her only steel cage match of her career. So why not go like full blown into it? You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like
absolutely. Yeah.
take advantage of the fact that you're in a steel cage. Like, make it brutal, because it is going to be a match, or it should be, it likely will be a memorable match, and especially during this late run for Trish, I feel like it would be really cool for her to be able to say that she did a steel cage match, which a lot of women, obviously, from her era never did and never will do. But you want to make it good, because you don't want to say I had a steel cage match and then it was shitty.
Yeah.
Like, I think that it would, what we saw on Monday in the Falls Count Anywhere match, I don't want to see, the last 2 minutes be when they finally take advantage of the stipulation. I want it to be throughout it. We don't have to see blood or anything, obviously, but like, take advantage of the fact that you're in the cage. Use the cage as a weapon,
Am I a sick fuck for wanting blood?
No, I think it's because we don't see it a lot with the women. They don't really get these stipulations a lot, and so with the cage, it's like the easiest way for there to be blood.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I feel like, if you're going to get a match of this caliber with the women, then you might as well, like I said, go full out with it. And if you bleed, then you bleed. Like, they don't have to blade or right in a spot that purposely has one of them bleed, like what happened with Brock and Cody.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that I feel like would be like the cherry on top to ending this. You know what I mean? Like, all the pent up emotion that they've had in this now like 6-month feud. I feel like that kind of does end it too. Like, it is like the final chapter. Like, you couldn't have done more to each other.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. They need some sort of moment, or I would say constant theme in the match that this is the final battle between them. Because I don't care. No one cares anymore about Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. People would rather see Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan or Becky Lynch versus Raquel Rodriguez at this point.
Or
They,
Rhea.
yeah, obviously I would want to see Rhea and Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
And for Trish, I mean, Richard asked here that she's staying for a while, but tag titles,
Maybe.
she
But
could. With who?
Zoe?
I think they're turning. I think she turns on Zoe, and that's her next feud.
Oh. That
You're the protege. You got too big for your britches. Right when I called you up to the main roster, you're in these matches. You can do a lot more.
I mean, I guess, but Zoe being a babyface seems a little, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get
Yeah.
sick.
See, this is why you're like, I'm a great booker. You're not even
I
thinking
get
of
it.
it.
Well, you can do. I know. This stuff doesn't matter in the NWF.
Yeah.
Get ready for that. That's coming soon. That is coming soon. We're almost done.
So then we have the final match, which is Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Did you know that's his real name?
Yeah, it's like Shinsuke. There's like 5 names.
I was just like, that is like, it's like Brock Lesnar. Like, he came out and was like birthed with like a cool ass name that was meant to be famous. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because when I think about Brock Lesnar coming out, and you have this like teeny little baby, although he was probably a giant. I don't know, but I feel like
he was a hefty.
Yeah, he was a 10-pound baby. Like, he gave his mother hell. Maybe had a C-section because he was too big. One of those.
Have to have a C-section with Brock Lesnar.
Just imagine giving birth to this like cute little baby, and you're like, you're gonna be named Brock Lesnar. Like, that is like the like uncutest name that you could name a teeny little baby.
It's like frightening.
I know, he had to have been a little terror. I feel like, especially because he was a towhead. Like, yeah, like you can't see his eyebrows because they were so light.
Oh my god!
No, he was a little terror.
Oh, that's so funny.
Anyway, so this is for the World Heavyweight Championship, and I'm torn on this one because if we go with how WWE traditionally books things, technically Seth Rollins was down and out on Raw, which means that he is not losing at the pay-per-view because usually the one who gets the upper hand loses. And it's hard for me to say that Nakamura is going to win because I felt like Finn had every opportunity to be the winner against Seth at SummerSlam. There was literally no reason for Finn to lose. Like all the momentum was behind Finn and they still didn't do it. So that's why it's like really hard for me to completely say, you know, this is Nakamura's time because well, it was Finn's time and they didn't do it. So
And they did that. So I feel something different with Nakamura. Seth is banged up. He said that he needs surgery. Wrestling's, or not only wrestling, but WWE is in a good spot right now where their top guys can take a month or two. Or wait, if he did get surgery, hold on, before I have this take fully, if he gets surgery, is he missing the Rumble and Mania?
I think so. I don't know about Mania. That's 8 months. But when you're talking about 2 fractures in your back,
it's back. It's different.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like that is when I don't know, because when it's your back and your neck, like they are way more cautious because I mean it's like literally your livelihood. Like you can't just be like, oh yeah, you should be fine, and we'll just send you out there. We'll clear you. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's possible. I think if he did get surgery, he's for sure missing the Rumble. But
I just, if I can't, you can't have Seth Rollins miss Mania. I will not manifest anything where Seth Rollins misses Mania. We need all our stars at Mania, Sarah. Okay.
Well, okay. Shinsuke winning doesn't have to be dependent on Rollins leaving, though. You know,
I agree. I'm just thinking. Yeah, but you go, continue.
Yeah. So I was gonna say I don't think that it has to be just because he's leaving that Shinsuke wins. I think that if he's going to win, Seth could still be around for a little bit. But I do think, yeah, like because they're making it such a focus in the storyline, and they don't normally do that when it's like a real injury. Obviously, those are things that we don't really know about, hence why we didn't know about it until he revealed it on that podcast. I feel like there's probably a reason we know about it, and it might be, yeah, because he does have to take time off. But from what I understand, from what he was saying, like he's explored a lot of options, like non-surgical options. So maybe if he plans on leaving for a bit, maybe he's still going to continue that. I don't know.
Yeah, but do the non-surgical options more.
But that's the thing, is that he said that he's been doing it and they're not working. So I think that if he's going to have surgery, he has to do it now, because that probably heightens his chances of being back before Mania. I think the longer they wait, the lower those chances are. But it's also possible maybe he's willing to miss Mania if it means that he can have a normal back, you know? I'm not saying that
it's where we got to take the human element of wrestling, and we got to say, you know what, maybe you're right. Because
and that's why I'm saying, like, it's not an easy decision, but he said he's been dealing with this for 4 years and it's not getting better. Out of all the things, I mean, he even said that he was doing like stem cell stuff, like anything possible that they could do to try and get it better. And if all of these other treatments that he's been getting are still not working, then I feel like he might have to just be okay with missing Mania if it means that he can be pain-free, or he'll be able to walk, for the rest of his life, or maybe you miss this Mania, but you'll be back for the one after that, like, I think it's not an easy decision, and I'm not wishing that upon him, but it might be something that he has to, put his health first.
Oh, agreed. Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, this is going to be a tricky one, but and it's funny because I'm going to clip these and then it's like, okay, but we don't even pick who we think's going to win. So we're just like prediction video, and there's no predictions. We're just like, I don't know.
I just don't like. I mean, this is kind of where my mind's going though, Richard. Too that either Shinsuke wins or Seth wins, but
Mm.
they're both exhausted. Priest comes in and Judgment Day really do walk out of Payback with all the gold. So
Well,
I just
a Damien. Oh shit! If a Damien cash in happens, that means they're not winning the tag titles.
what do you mean they don't walk out? They want to walk out with all the gold.
I don't know that they're gonna do that. I just don't see that happening.
I see that happening more likely than not.
Um, it. Yeah, I think. Well, my immediate thought is, without thinking about the Judgment Day, um, is Seth. Yeah, if Seth wins or Shinsuke wins, and then Damien cashes in, that's an
Yeah.
easy way for them to write Seth off exactly how they had Bianca written off, because Bianca's gone right now. She's either
Yeah.
gone for weeks or months. They don't know. But that was exactly what happened with her. They were in the triple threat. She won the women's championship and then was
Yeah.
immediately cashed in on. And then it's like we haven't seen her since. So it's not like, oh, well, Bianca is now going to be in a feud with Io. No, there's like she's taking time off. That would be a way for Shinsuke and Damien to feud, maybe, or some. I mean, that's still a weird feud though, because they're both bad guys right now. But, yeah, I mean that seems likely because then at least it gets the title off Seth and allows him to take time off. But I don't know. That gives so many
Ooh.
possibilities for Judgment Day as well.
Ooh. If they win the tag, Damian cashes in. JD
Um,
becomes tag, and then they
oh my
legitimately have
god,
all the gold.
Richard, you are the
Laughing at
king of these. Thank you. I love that because JD, oh my god, Irish tag team champion. Oh, okay, yeah.
you are swooning
Oh my
right
god,
now.
imagine Irish tag
Swooning.
champs.
Look at the Irish back on top. That's how we do
Hey,
it.
I'm Irish too, just not a lot. That's
Yeah,
really disappointing.
you're more in
I'm Scottish.
McIntyre's region.
I know, and I was like disappointed about that at first because like all my life I was like told you like you're English, Irish, and Scottish, right? Like my great grandmother off the boat from Ireland, right? Like my grandfather was the first generation on his side of the family to be born in America. So I was like, I'm super Irish. And then
Yeah,
I do my DNA and it's like I'm basically like almost 50% Scottish. And
that's tough.
I'm like, I don't remember how much Irish I am, but like I still have Irish family in Ireland. It's just like I'm not as related to them as I thought I was.
True. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So um yeah, so that was like, but that's okay. Scotland is beautiful. So I'm like, but it's
It
funny. I
is
always
perfect.
wanted to visit Ireland and I'm like, I really want to go to Ireland. And now I'm like, fuck Ireland. I want to go to Scotland because those are my people.
Gotta be with my peeps. I
Yeah, I'm
gotta
like, I
be
want
with
to go to
my
Ireland
peeps.
too, but like, I'm not as
Not
connected
as much as
anymore.
Scotland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm like, but anyway, um, yeah, so Payback's gonna be interesting, and also we haven't gotten any comments about doing a watch along, so I don't know that we're going to do it
Yeah,
because like, no, if
that's
people
fine.
aren't like attacking me with comments about doing a watch along, that I'm not gonna do it,
I totally agree.
because
Because
it's not that it's not fun, but it's like a lot of work because you have to sit here and you can't just be like,
we watch wrestling
you
very
know,
different. I've learned.
yeah,
Uh,
you don't shut up and then I
I
sit there in
don't.
silence. Yeah. So
Well, the funniest thing is when I'm down here yelling about or reacting to something, and the laundry's down here. So I'm watching, and my mom comes down to do laundry or something, and I'm just screaming about wrestling. She just looked at me like, "What are you like?" I'm not listening. I'm definitely not talking to her. It's a great
yeah.
time. So to me, it doesn't matter. But I also do get very silent during sometimes, like when like an easy example is like a Paul Heyman or
When you
someone.
have to listen.
Yeah,
But
I
see, like
mean,
I just that's
all
how I
in.
am. I watch all of it by like not silently. Like I do yell at the TV or something or
Yeah,
talk,
yeah.
but like for the most part I'm just watching it and taking it in. So WrestleMania is going to be interesting cuz I'm
Oh
probably
my
going to
god.
want to like duct tape your mouth.
No, I'm
Just
gonna
be
be
like,
so.
shut up.
I am going to be the hype man of this. I'm going to be part of every single chant, song. I love it. I want to treat it like a goddamn Euro tour.
I mean, live shows are a little different because it's not like you can really hear anything anyway. But
Yeah, what are you listening to?
so I do behave a little bit differently. I am like, woohoo! You know, I'm like LA night, woohoo!
Woo!
But yeah, so I'm excited. I think the show is gonna be good.
I'll actually tweet on
Oh,
my predictions.
Richard said they booked a superstar spectacle for KO and Sammy as champions. Are you kidding me?
Why do we
But
know?
see,
This is why I don't like spoilers and knowing stuff and maybe what if people what if,
they can
oh
change
wait
it.
is it hasn't wait no they're not facing Imperium. Who are they facing?
No, I think Kevin and Sammy
Who are
are
they
probably
facing?
hard, just in general.
Yeah,
But
but it's a
I mean,
house show
but it's
technically.
but don't they say also it's like TBA, like TBD, like things
They
can
always say
change.
that. Yeah, and
So
it could be
hopefully that,
KO and Sammy versus whoever the tag champs are.
yeah. Well, because
Looking to retain.
I want Judgment Day to win the tag champs more than I want anything about like Damian cashing in.
Yeah, they
I
need all the gold.
but if I had to choose one or the other, I want them to win the tag titles. I don't
Yeah, I
want
want
them
to.
to lose the tag titles and then Damian cash in. That's what I mean. Like if I
Yeah,
had to choose who has the gold, it's both of them,
I'd agree.
not one. So anyway, so unless we get bombarded with comments, which it doesn't look like we will be, about doing a watch along, then we will probably have live reactions afterwards. We will talk about what we saw, how we feel, what we think, what we predict for Raw. So make sure you check that out because I'll probably put up a stream with like a tentative time, which is always like way later than when we'll actually get on here. But it's just because we don't know when the show's actually going to end. So
never know. You never know with these shows.
Yeah, but anyway, that those are our predictions.
Those are our predictions. Go down below and comment your predictions, what you want to happen on the show, how excited you are for the show. I was trying to think of something else, but that's what came out. So yeah, and while you're doing that, also hit that subscribe button. All right, hit that subscribe button and bell notification to know when we go live, especially because the time being tentative. You got to know when we go live. It's going to be different from the time. So definitely hit that bell notification. And then for clips, because say you don't have the hour and 3 minutes and 17 seconds to sit here and hear all of our predictions, you only want to hear a few matches, then you just go into the archives and check out the shorts and other clips that Sara makes. We are at we're 130 or 103 hours until super chats.
And we're 101 away from 1,000 subs.
Like, come on, guys. 101 away from 1,000. And when we started doing this was just for fun. And look at where we've gone. So we really appreciate your support, love, and interactions. I love my peeps. So we thank you guys. And we will see you on Saturday for the show and our reactions to it. Thank you for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. We will see you on Saturday.